Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing great. I am here in a client's garden and I decided to make a video about basil, which is here very tiny, because it is that time of the year where everybody starts to ask me about basil, how to grow it, how to maintain it, and it's very exciting. It's that part of the year where we can wait to plant and eat our basil, but the thing is that that excitement lasts like 5 minutes because then it dies and that's it. So today we're going to talk about how to grow and maintain your basil during the seasons like spring, summer, and a part of fall if you live in warmer areas. Let's start. So the truth is that basil is very delicate. I'm not going to lie. It's like the diva or of the aromatic herbs. Nevertheless, making the right making it last in the garden is very simple once you know what is it that it needs to thrive in the garden. So let's talk about it. The main idea of this video is to keep your basil alive in the garden. For that, you need to make sure to plant it in the right place, to water it correctly, and to always keep in mind the root system. And I'm going to explain that in a bit. I wanted to start with the basics so you understand basil, how does it behave. So basil is part of the mint family. The mint family is one of the largest family in the kitchen garden. It contains about 90% of the aromatic herbs that we consume, including oregano, sage, thyme, rosemary, lavender, all of those Mediterranean herbs, and of course mints. I have my notes here so I don't forget anything, otherwise I will start talking a lot. Plants in the same family normally behave the same, so they will need the same amount of sunlight or the same amount of water, except basil. And here is where the diva comes in, right? So basil is full of exceptions when it comes to grow and maintain, but once you know those there are simple exceptions, but there are still exceptions. So once you know how your Mediterranean herbs behave, oh, you cannot see them. Here's some sage, here's some oregano, and here's the thyme. I'm going to show you later. Once you know how Mediterranean herbs behave, you know that making those exceptions, basil will grow correctly. So let's go to it. The first thing that we know about Mediterranean herbs is that they love sun, and basil loves sun. That's fine. It needs about 6 to 8 hours to grow correctly. However, it will suffer intense sunlight during peak hours if it's not planted correctly. So we are going to make sure that we are going to plant it between other crops that are taller, or they can give a little bit of shades when the really hot days are coming, especially in summer. If it's spring or fall, it's fine, you can leave it in full sun, but during summer, during those heat peaks, it would suffer a little bit and you can see it wilting. The second thing is that basil loves water, unlike other Mediterranean herbs that thrive in drier conditions like rosemary or oregano. So whenever you see the basil wilting, it's because two reasons. There's a lot of heat, I told you that already, or it needs water. So we want to keep the soil moist for the basil to grow correctly. You are going to plant it also between other herbs that need the same requirements. For example, I planted between parsley here because parsley likes moist soil. So they are not going to bother each other and they are going to grow perfectly fine. And the third thing that it's very super important, it's to keep in mind the root system. And this step or this part of the root system applies for every plant or every vegetable, even house plants. So we're going to keep in mind that we want a root system that is healthy and that is protected, especially in summer. So whenever we buy or whenever we keep basil in small containers, the roots are going to grow and there's going to be a root bound, and the roots are going to be exposed. So as soon as the first heat wave, or even for other plants, cold waves arrive, the roots are going to feel it and they're going to die. So what we need is a very wide or bigger container, that wherever it is, the basil, and we are going to plant it there. And the more soil we have, like protecting those roots, the best it's going to perform your basil, because the roots are going to be, as I said, protected, and it's going to grow fine. So these are the 3 things that you have to keep in mind. It's very simple, it's not that complicated. So I want to make a small recap, so you keep that all in mind. To keep your basil alive, you need to provide 6 to 8 hours of sunlight and partial shade, especially in midday during hot days, during summer. So you're going to place, for that, you're going to place your basil between other crops, or if you have it in a container, which I want to plant some basil seeds here, you're going to put it under other crops that are going to provide a little bit of shade especially during midday. The second thing is that we need to water consistently, so we need to keep the soil moist, and your basil is going to be happy. And the third thing is that we are going to transplant that basil to a bigger container with more soil that will first of all stay moist for longer, and that will protect the roots. So that's it. I hope you like this video. I wanted to give you another garden tip, is that once you have your basil, you're going to sow some seeds every 2 weeks. You can do it every 2 weeks for continuous harvest. Pretty simple, right? I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching me and arriving to this part of the video. Remember that you are not alone, that you are going to get a lot of tips also on my green letter. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Every month you're going to receive lots of tips and ideas to maintain the garden during the month. And if you need personalized guidance, go to my website, 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗽𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and you can book a session with me and we can grow together your garden. I'm going to be there for you, helping you. I'll be your cheerleader. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching and have a great day. See you around.